Hi there, traders. This is Brad Gilbert with the FX Market Insight for Friday, the 31st of May. All right, as I bring you into the MyFX Trading Hub, just to have a look at the currency pairs now. It's been one of those weeks where we just haven't really got things moving. Okay, there's been a little bit of promise, but the major pairs, the dollar CAD, if anything's broken a little bit higher, and sterling sort of set itself up on the downside move. Aussie and Kiwi, business as usual, but even though they are pointing down, I want to highlight overall, they are going down across hourly, daily, weekly charts. But on the hourlies, they are sort of pretty much diffused and just trading sideways. But still, they have that overall down trend. But you wouldn't think of it at this stage. So fundamentally, still, okay, so ECB bearish on growth, Aussie and Kiwi, although central banks very concerned about China and growth and domestic economy issues as well, where inflation, any unemployment is sort of starting to paint a bad picture. In saying that, we actually expect the RBA to cut rates again as early as next week. Now, trading conditions, we've got normal liquidity. Actually, you can trade, you can do whatever you like, but there's just no momentum in the markets, right? So if you're going to trade and you're looking for an opportunity to get into a trade, well, there's no momentum to really grasp onto. So you're going to be sitting there in front of your screens for a long time waiting for it to move 5 or 10 points. Core market drivers, okay, unfortunately for us, this US-China issue continues. Of course, Brexit as well. Now, on the major news-wise, I mean, there's all these trade talks going on. It's hard to work out exactly who Trump's picking on because it changes from day to day. You got the next China central bank chief says progress in Japan, difficult. Like they're just not... the Chinese and the US still not getting along. I mean, I think Trump wants a lot more out of China than what they could probably give, and their economy is already sort of struggling. You've got he wants to increase tariffs on Mexico. I think he's going to pick the EU next, and it's just going to snowball and snowball. So, like the Trump is one big giant geopolitical issue, right? We've got to wait until he gets probably out of office before things really settle down. All right, so coming into the, I'll just actually give you a look at the majors. I mean, there's not a hell of a lot to talk about, and you can't really sugarcoat this stuff. The Aussie this week, Kiwis had a little bit of life, but not much. At this stage, 30 points looks like a pretty big move. Dollar yen was just trading sideways after, plenty of potential for things to blow up at the start of the week. Now we're starting to see a few people jumping into the yen again. But, it's probably just as the weekend approaches. Euro, potential again, bit of a squeeze the top side, still within recent ranges, not a hell of a lot to talk about. Sterling is sort of drifting lower. I think the whole market or the whole globe is losing faith in the UK parliamentary system, not only the UK citizens who are, I can tell you, are sick to death of it. And dollar CAD, I mean, this thing is slowly probing higher, but check out the price action here. This is really ambiguous. The key thing here to me is oil's back at $56, right? So that's going to put further topside moves on dollar CAD. You got to think it's going to move to the top side, but you know what? It's a little bit hard to call. And with no momentum across the board in any of the real major pairs, and in the US dollar in particular, it's hard to see dollar CAD. It's hard to see an easy trade there anyway. All right, so let's just have a look where the major opportunities are going to come from. This is where momentum can come back into the market quickly. Now, the core PCE price index, a key inflation number the Fed keeps a very close eye on, and they refer back to. I have got these numbers as blue. They were traditionally sort of red, high impacting numbers, and they are. If there's any sort of significant variance in these two numbers, we could get a definite move. But at this stage, I think what we're trying to do is isolate the central bank and employment data really for the super high impacting. Now, the GDP, Canadian GDP, if this number's weak, it goes with the falling oil price, and we could see dollar CAD move to the top side. So just bear that in mind. To me, that's probably got the best potential opportunity. The PCE price index, well, the dollar is in a state of flux at the moment, so I'm not holding my breath out there looking for any major opportunity. The dollar index on the futures price here, you can see it's just trading sideways within a pretty big range. There's not a hell of a lot to get excited about on that one. And really, this is the raw nerve of the market. or it has been. This is $1, right? So the Chinese, how's the Chinese currency struggle? Going. We saw Trump change plans, say he's going to whack a heap of tariffs on it, gap 500 points, and then it's quickly sort of raced up to 6.9, sort of 3, and pretty much since May 17th, 19th, the last 10 or 2 weeks, it's just been trading sideways. You see it start to drift off here as traders are starting to lose faith in the whole thing. But at this point, still managing to trade sideways, really untradeable. It's at levels where it's trading like the cryptocurrencies. All right, and that's pretty much where we are, guys. It's a bit of a challenging week. So we got next week to look forward to. Once again, it really comes down to getting some numbers. And the good thing is, like Monday is the start of a new month. We'll have non-farm payrolls. We'll have a huge amount of other key data. We've got the central banks up again, and then we can start to hopefully get some momentum back into these currencies, because the last week of the month traditionally lacks momentum and the currencies drift. This one in particular, because of that UK-US holiday Monday, they never really got going. So just keep an eye on these last 2 major releases. That's where the action is, and that's not much else to do besides that. All right, guys, have a good trade day. We'll see you in the 247 trade zone. Cheerio.